Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick. Today we have set number 10742, Willy's Butte Speed Training, 95 pieces, and it contains 2 cars as well as 3 little side builds. The first of the 2 cars is Lightning McQueen in an interesting sand blue and light gray color scheme. He still has the same red frame piece, which looks a little awkward from the back. It probably would have been better to, change that to gray or blue. But, he still looks pretty cool and, pretty respectable from all angles except any of these back on angles. The side printing is relatively simple, but it looks, good. I think that we haven't seen much of this costume for McQueen in the trailers, but from the couple, little things that we have seen, I think that this looks relatively accurate. The smile on the front is good. There's a little gray printed up here as well, and that side, is mirrored from the other side. And the print for the eyes is pretty good. I like the reflective silver on the side and top. And there's also a big gray patch printed up there as well, probably just to make it resemble the color scheme more. I like how that blends in there, and I do like the little fender piece in sand blue. That's the only time that we get it unprinted so far. But let's look at Sheriff. Sheriff, I think, is definitely the more desirable of the two, seeing as he is an exclusive character. He does have this nice Sheriff print on the side panel, and you can see they split that in half just to make it fit the color scheme more. And the other side has the same print because it doesn't have to be mirrored or anything. The front of him uses that new, front piece that they used on Smokey and Junior Moon. And it's in black, similar to Junior Moon, except it has different printing. I like that there. And the little Mercury symbol. And the, headlights are good as well. I just like the shaping on this piece. I think it works well for Sheriff. And then on the back, you can see they actually did get the Mercury licensing because they put that on there. And it says Sheriff and has the tail lights and the license plate, which looks good. And he does have print on these 2 pieces, which are also new for the Junior's Cars 3 line. And you can see the print on that front there. Works well. Nice eyes, and you can see there's a little white border printed around the window, and then there are windows printed on the back as well as 2 rear red lights. And that's pretty much all there is to Sheriff. He does have a little light on the top, which is a little, like the jumper plate part looks a little awkward, and you could try to go like that just because then it won't look as weird, but still doesn't look perfect. I think the jumper plate is a decent enough solution, especially for kids who are going to have a more difficult time building it. And there is a jumper tile or a jumper plate on the back to attach this little speed gun thing, and that just attaches on a ball joint. And you have to make sure that you angle these so that it can lean wherever it wants, because otherwise it won't touch the ground, right? And this little build is pretty nifty. You can see it's got this little speed gun here, which you could try to attach to Sheriff. You could attach it here, I guess, if you want. Obviously not meant to be attached there, but it's Lego, so you can do whatever you want with it. You could also remove one of the side panels, which also looks a little weird, obviously, and attach it like that, but just gives you more options, and you can bet kids are going to do that, because it's fun. And the little speed, or speed gun thing has a jumper plate to hold it there, and this is a really, really nice build, actually. I think it looks good. You actually see something like this in the trailers, so it's relatively recognizable. Probably the most recognizable, I would go out on a limb and say, out of the Cars 3 Junior sets so far. This is the one build I recognize from the trailers, besides the cars themselves. And it does have this printed piece, which I believe appears in other sets, and this nice exclusive speed sign with the hex displays. The bolts are on the outside. This is a great print, and you know, really, really nice. It's definitely going to be useful outside of this setting as well. But let's take a look at the actual, you know, Willy's Butte parts of the set, because so far we've seen the three things with the wheel. But in addition to those, there are two little scenery builds, and this kind of, you know, will contribute to the scenery if you just place it there. But the smaller of these two is this radiator spring sign, which is really cool. It has some printed parts up here, because juniors, everything's going to be printed. And it has Willy's Butte, which looks really nice. That would be useful as like a picture on the wall or something, in addition to this. And you could also use it as a sign. You could also take this separately and use that as just a radiator spring sign. But this can spin around, which makes a little bit more sense when you realize that the cars can kind of like drive up along the side, which, you know, because Willy's Butte is kind of in like a little valley thing, and, you know, if you've seen the first movie, you kind of understand what Willy's Butte is. But you could have your car, you know, drive up the wall, kind of, and maybe hit the sign and just spin it around. So it's kind of a little play feature. You know, it's decent. It's attached with the Technic pin, so it's very easy to spin. And I like this piece in brown, the girder kind of piece. But I think that this sign looks really good, even without just a little cliff thing in front of it. But the more substantial of the two builds is just a jump for, you know, Lightning McQueen to travel through in his racing training. It does have a bush piece here, which is nice, and it has this nice printed ramp, and also these two printed wooden plank pieces, which are always nice to get, and these are a new print, I believe. But it's basically just a little gate, and with that, when Lightning McQueen drives over this, he'll break through the gate, and it'll just open up, which is pretty cool. So if you run it like that, you know, sometimes you'll get over the, or sometimes you won't get over the thing, but usually you'll make it pretty decently. It's just a matter of, you know, force. And usually it doesn't make as much of a sound as you like, and sometimes you'll do that. But I think it's a decent feature, and, you know, sometimes you'll flip over, and that's cool. I think it's kind of fun. You know, you could also set it up like this, so that you, you know, break the bush. You know, let's just leave the bush off for the moment. And you'll miss. And, yeah, sometimes you'll go like that, and you'll end up spinning the sign around. And in addition to this, there is one more little piece. It's a traffic cone. It looks almost identical to the ones that they used in the 2011-2012 Cars line, but it's built with a jumper plate and a cone instead of a 2x2 plate and a cone, so it's a little bit different. But overall, I think that this is a surprisingly good set for the builds besides the cars. Most of the Cars 3 sets that, you know, are out so far, I really don't have a huge interest in the builds besides the Cars figures themselves, but this one actually, you know, surprised me, and I think that the builds here are, you know, actually good. I really like this thing, and the prints on the radiator spring sign are good, and I think that this ramp actually does a decent job, you know, working as just a little play feature. And overall, I'd say that this is a pretty good set, and I think I don't know for sure, obviously, because I haven't seen the movie, but so far I like this set better than the Smokey's Garage, even though for the same value, Smokey's Garage includes a third car. Obviously, you just don't really know Junior Moon and Smokey yet, so they don't really feel too important. Sheriff, obviously, we know already, and he's a cool character, and he didn't appear in the older sets, so it's nice to get him finally. But, you know, Lightning McQueen is also a cool car character, so I think that this one is definitely going to prove less popular than the other one. However, I feel it's a little bit more impressive. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little set review. If you did, let me know what you guys think of the set yourselves in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys later. Bye, everyone.